Okay, so I'm asking this question: who should be diving? Fuck. Who should be peeling? Right, and it shouldn't be like it should be like a no-brainer, right? Easy answer. It's more complicated than you think, but it's not. Apparently, it's not that obvious, and I don't know if I'm just playing with the worst of the worst. But I'm going to use an example of a game that I played recently. So we're playing, it's domination. The enemy team is playing one diver. Everyone else is poke or brawl, but one diver. Actually, no, everyone else is poke. Yeah, one diver, it's Black Cat. They're just playing Black Cat to dive. Crazy, crazy finals on this Black Cat because our supports just run away. So first off, nobody should be peeling. It's that simple. That it's more complicated than you think, and it's in three aspects. One, because everybody has a part to play in peeling. I hope that was clickbait and that got your attention. What happened was our supports ran away. Like, I'm playing Penny because they banned Thing, and because Emma was already not... Thing and Emma and Namor were banned. So I'm playing Penny to try and help against this Black Cat. I am standing right next to my supports. I am, like, in the bunker with them, ready to stand there and help them against the Black Cat. So tell me, as soon as this Black Cat touches them, they use all of their mobility and book it for spawn door. This is what I mean when I say nobody should be peeling, right? Especially tanks should not give up space to come back. Because I could have been playing any other tank, or even as Penny, taking space, going up there, helping my other tank on the front line, taking off angles, and instead of them running to spawn door, they run to me, they run to their tanks, to their DPS, to the people who are stationed to help them. Then tank takes more damage, that way they don't take as much because... Well, it's not as effective against Black Cat because they're melee and they have that whip ability, but I am taking some of the damage just by being there. I can stun them. Like, there's so many things that the tank can do to help you if you go to the tank, or if you go to a DPS. Booking it towards your spawn door isn't going to help. Saying, hey, you need to come back to me to help me, isn't going to help unless you're a character with no mobility. And if you're a character with no mobility, you shouldn't be playing it into dive, but we're playing Rocket and Gambit into this Black Cat, and we run away the second that they see us, even though I am standing next to you to help. Now my nest is useless, because Black Cat won't be anywhere near it. If I place it near the Black Cat now, it has no damage stored up into it. I have no mines, because I placed them in the nest, assuming they'd go to the nest. Right? So that's facet number one. Nobody should be peeling. Facet number two, well, it's as simple as the DPS should be peeling. And this is, of all the characters that should have to move to peel. So, like, let's say you have people on off angles, tanks, and then your supports. So it's like, straight line. Your DPS are the most free to turn around and shoot them, or move backwards and shoot them. If your tanks do it, let's say this is your front line, your tanks move back, then they just follow up. That's exactly what they want from peeling. That's exactly what they want from diving. Why would you give it to them, right? The tanks should stand there, try and block heals for their divers. That way their divers don't get healing. If they're playing Rocket or Jeff, this is super easy. You just hold up a shield. If they're playing Jeff and Rocket, actually it's harder because you need a shield in order to do it. If they're playing anyone else, you can body block it. Sorry, I had it backwards. But then the DPS are more free to do that and then turn around and give cover. With the caveat of dive DPS shouldn't. Let's say you're playing 2 dive DPS and a dive tank and a shield tank. In that scenario, my personal opinion, and it's an opinion because I'm not a top level player, is that you just start trading backlines. If those 3 people who are on dive don't want to swap, because if you're playing someone who's on an off angle, like Hela or Star-Lord off angles a lot, then they're super free to go and help the supports. But if they're dive, they cannot and should not, right? And if you're not going to swap to counter dive, instead, your other tank should play a dive tank as well. Your other tank should swap to dive tank, and then you should swap to 2 DPS who are supports. So like Mantis, Ultron, White Fox, even Adam, there we go, that's his name. Those characters would be really good because then you just all 4 of you get their backline first, then work outwards. All of those characters minus Ultron can heal themselves fairly well and deal damage to fend off divers. So you just trade backlines and work your way forwards while your supports have good killing power. That's what you do in that situation. But as far as peeling goes, it should be the off-angling DPS. The only problem with that is that none of the hard anti-dive characters are in DPS. Namor, yes, kind of works for it, but he's not like, he is anti-dive, actually. I'll just hit him with that. But all the hard anti-dive characters are Emma, Thing, Penny. They're all tanks. They're all tanks. Invis and Gambit used to be, and now they're not as good. Gambit's still like really good band, things you should be doing, but they're not as good for it, which is understandable. But why are they all tanks? Because the third, we talked about supports, you should go towards your tanks. DPS should help the supports if you're playing one that has the ability to do that. And then tanks, on one hand, the tanks shouldn't be, right? And that's the hard part. Like, tanks shouldn't be, because especially if you're solo tanking, you're giving up space. You're giving up space and you're giving up pressure. You lose frontline pressure and you lose ability to to push them back and keep them where they are, at the very least, when you peel as a tank. Even if you're playing in 2 tanks, you lose 1 tank on the front line. That front line becomes, 1, way more dangerous to a tank that's not getting consistent healing, because there is diving happening, and 2, it's just they have the ability to push him more. He can get pushed back way easier than if there's 2. So a tank doesn't want to peel. But the hard part is, what else are you going to do? Like I said, all the hard anti-dive characters are tanks. Emma, Thing, Penny, they want tanks to peel. So my solution is you just play triple tank. And one of your tanks plays like Thing, Emma, plays Emma or Penny, because those 2 characters can stand with the supports and still shoot at the very least the front line, and then help when the dive comes. But that's my opinion on who should be peeling. It's simple, it's more complicated than it thinks, and it's in 3 facets. Nobody should peel for the supports. The support should go towards their tanks. The DPS, if they have the ability to, and they're an off-angling DPS, not a dive DPS, should be the ones who peel. And tanks shouldn't peel, but are kind of forced to, and the way to get around that is triple tank. Let me know if you agree, because, like, Thor, really good at anti-dive, because he can just shove the divers around and waste their cooldowns, make sure that they can't do anything. But also, you don't want Thor standing in your background waiting for someone to dive, and if someone dives, Thor can't get to your backline, especially if he's fighting amongst the team, like brawling out. He can't get to your backline fast enough to stop them. Another example. But, whatever. Let me know what you think, and of course, comment, subscribe, like, do all those little things that we like to do. And I swear, once I beat Divinity, I will do a challenge run. I just need to beat it first. It's a lot harder than I think. Wet Willy.